Greetings to all. This is Gomati, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Hindustan College of Engineering and Technology. In this video, we'll have an idea about big data. So what is big data? What are the characteristics of big data? How we can store and select the big data for processing? Why we need big data? How it is different from small data? What are the sources of big data and tools and technology for handling the big data and applications of big data. So what is big data? So big data, as the name implies, is similar to small data, but it will be bigger in size. So definitely it need different techniques, tools and architecture to handle the big data. So the main aim of the big data is to solve the new problems or old problems in a better way with the big data storage and handling. Three characteristics of big data, shortly called as three V's. It's volume, velocity and variety. The first characteristic is volume. A typical PC might have 10 GB of storage in 2000, but today a Facebook can have 500 terabytes of new data every day. And one more example, a Boeing 737 will generate 240 terabytes of flight uh, during a single flight. And if you go for the example of smartphones, it will generate a volume of data within a second. The second characteristic is velocity. It meant for how frequently and how fastly a bigger volume of data is generated. The third characteristic is variety. So big data is not just a numbers, date or string or a set of characters. So big data will have a geospatial data, 3D data, audio, video and different kinds of data, unstructured data it can have. A Facebook account can have any type of data, for example. So the big data will analyze a different types of data. Definitely we need a specific tools and technology to handle the big data. Next one is storing big data. Before the data storage, it has to be analyzed. The data characteristics have to be analyzed before the data is being to store in a proper and appropriate storage. So we need to eliminate the redundant data. We are having so many technologies and tools for making it, and we need to establish the NoSQL. Since we are having a variety of data in big data, we need to have the NoSQL. We have to go with the NoSQL, which means the non-relational SQL. And we are having a variety of big data stores, namely and widespreadly used is Hadoop distributed file system, HBase and Hive. The structure of big data, it can be categorized as three: structured, semi-structured and unstructured. The structured, most traditional data sources such as the tables, which contains the rows and columns of data. The semi-structured, many sources of big data are going to have the semi-structured nowadays. It can have some text and images combinedly. In case of the unstructured data, so it is fully having the video and audio data. So why we need the big data? Why it is happened? So the main reason is the growth of data, which given the limelight for the big data, and increase of storage capacities and increase of processing power and availability of data, different data types and different sources of storing and different technology of processing and handling the big data. How big data is different from the small data? So the big data will be automatically generated by a machine. So might be using the sensor embedded in a engine, for example. And the second reason is typically an entirely new source of data. So we are having the internet as the big source of data which generate automatically a bigger volume of data. And the third one is not designed to be friendly. So not only the text streams will have. And the fourth one is may not have much value. We need to analyze and we need to process and we need to refine the useful data. We need to eliminate the unwanted and unimportant data. Big data sources, obviously the users, application systems and sensors. These are the simple and uh, sample scenario which creates a big data. This is an example data generation point from a smartphone. So it can have a microphone, readers or scanners, science facilities, and additional applications and programs, software which we are having, and social media, cameras. So these are the data generation points from a single mobile phone. So we can imagine how many billions of data is going to be generated from each and every smartphone per day or per month. So next one is big data analytics. Okay, so what are the things it is going to be happen while we are go for the big data analytics? We need to examine a large amount of data, and the appropriate information has to be retrieved and refined from the available large volume of data, and identification of the hidden patterns and unknown correlations, insights of data. So competitive advantages have to be identified to give a proper solution and the better solution for an organization or institution. And to make a betterment of the business decisions, we need a data analytics. Types of tools used in big data. So where we are processing the big data, so we are having distributed servers or the cloud servers where the data can be stored. Distributed storage, example Amazon S3. What is the programming model we have to use to deal with the big data? So distributed processing, example MapReduce programming. How the data is stored and indexed. So we are having the MongoDB is an example database which can handle the big data. And what operations are performed on data. So we can analyze the data and we can make a semantic processing of the. Here I have given you the few sample application domains where the big data analytics can happen. So trading for researching quality, manufacturing, traffic control, telecom, healthcare, multi-channel sales, and homeland security. These are few application domains where the big data can be happen nowadays. So these are few leading technology vendors for handling the big data, namely IBM, EMC, and Oracle. So in this video, we have seen the basic idea about the big data. So we'll have another technical topic in upcoming videos. Thank you. Have a nice day.